Forget everything you think you know about ancient religious conflicts, because the showdown between Elijah and Baal was basically a divine pay-per-view event with explosive results. One man, one true God, and a whole lot of dramatic tension. Prepare to have your understanding of faith and power ignited. This is the story of Elijah, a prophet who took on an entire nation's false god in a fiery face-off that still echoes today. Buckle up, because this is no ordinary Bible story. It's a tale of courage, faith, and a jaw-dropping miracle that changed everything. Let's set the stage. We're in ancient Israel, around 850 BC, during a time when the nation was spiraling into chaos. King Ahab was ruling, and let's just say he wasn't winning any Leader of the Year awards. Ahab married Jezebel, a foreign princess who brought her own religion with her, a religion that worshipped Baal, a so-called god of rain, fertility, and storms. Baal was a big deal in the ancient world, and Jezebel was all in, pushing Israel to ditch their faith in the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for this flashy, idol-worshipping alternative. The problem? Israel was supposed to be God's chosen people, set apart to follow him alone. But under Ahab and Jezebel, the nation was turning its back on that promise. Temples to Baal were popping up, and his priests were running the show. Enter Elijah, a prophet with a direct line to God and a no-nonsense attitude. Elijah wasn't about to let this slide. He saw the people of Israel drifting, caught between two worlds, one worshiping the true God, the other chasing after Baal's empty promises. Something had to give. Elijah didn't mince words. He marched right up to King Ahab and dropped a bombshell. As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, there will be no rain or dew for the next few years unless I say so. Boom. Just like that, Elijah declared a drought, a direct challenge to Baal, the supposed god of rain. If Baal was so powerful, surely he could make it rain, right? This was Elijah throwing down the gauntlet, and it set the stage for one of the most epic showdowns in history. Now, a drought in those days wasn't just an inconvenience. It was catastrophic. No rain meant no crops, no food, and a whole lot of suffering. Elijah's prophecy wasn't just a power move. It was a wake-up call to Israel. Would they trust God, or would they keep chasing Baal? For 3 years, the land dried up, and tensions grew. Ahab and Jezebel were furious, hunting for Elijah, who was hiding out under God's protection. But God wasn't done yet. He was setting the scene for something bigger. After 3 long years of drought, God told Elijah it was time for the main event. The place? Mount Carmel, a rocky, dramatic ridge that was about to become the ultimate stage for a spiritual showdown. Elijah sent a message to Ahab. Bring your 450 prophets of Baal, and let's settle this once and for all. We're going to see whose God is real. Ahab, probably thinking this was his chance to shut Elijah up, agreed. The whole nation gathered to watch, like spectators at a championship match. Picture this. A massive crowd, buzzing with anticipation, gathered on the slopes of Mount Carmel. On one side, you've got Elijah, a lone prophet, standing tall with nothing but his faith in God. On the other, 450 prophets of Baal, decked out in their ceremonial gear, chanting and hyping up their God. The stakes couldn't be higher. This wasn't just about rain. It was about truth, faith, and who really held the power over creation. Elijah stepped forward and laid out the challenge like a master showman. He said, "How long are you going to waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. If Baal is God, follow him." The crowd went silent. Elijah wasn't just calling out the prophets of Baal, he was calling out the people of Israel for sitting on the fence. Then he set the rules. We'll each build an altar and offer a sacrifice, but we won't light the fire. The God who answers by sending fire from heaven, he's the real deal. The prophets of Baal went first. They built their altar, laid a bull on it, and started praying. And praying. And praying some more. Hours passed, and they got louder, chanting, dancing, even cutting themselves to get Baal's attention. But crickets. No fire, no sparks, nothing. Elijah, probably leaning against a rock, started to poke fun at them. Maybe Baal's busy, he said. Maybe he's on a trip or taking a nap. The crowd probably snickered, but the prophets of Baal were desperate, and still, nothing happened. Then it was Elijah's turn. He didn't just build an altar, he made a statement. He used 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel, reminding everyone of their covenant with God. He laid the wood, placed the sacrifice, and then did something wild. He told the people to pour water over everything. Not just a sprinkle, barrels of water, drenching the altar, the sacrifice, and even filling a trench around it. In the middle of a drought, this was next-level confidence. Why? Because Elijah wanted to make it crystal clear that what was about to happen was no trick, no accident. It could only be God. With the altar soaking wet, Elijah stepped forward and prayed. No shouting, no dancing, just a simple, heartfelt prayer. Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel. Answer me, so these people will know you are the true God. The crowd held its breath. The prophets of Baal probably rolled their eyes. And then, boom! Fire fell from heaven like a lightning strike, so intense it burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even licked up the water in the trench. The crowd lost it, shouting, falling to their knees, crying out, "The Lord, He is God! The Lord, He is God!" In one moment, everything changed. Baal was exposed as a fraud, and the God of Israel proved he was the real deal. The prophets of Baal were defeated, and Elijah, with the people's support, made sure their influence was ended for good. But the story doesn't stop there. Elijah prayed again, this time for rain. After 3 years of drought, the skies darkened, and a massive storm rolled in, soaking the parched land. The people who had wavered, who had doubted, now saw the truth. God wasn't just powerful, He was faithful. He hadn't abandoned them, even when they'd turned away. So what's the big takeaway from this fiery showdown? First, it's about courage. Elijah was one guy against a king, a queen, 450 prophets, and a whole nation's doubts. But he stood firm because he trusted God completely. Second, it's about faith. The people of Israel had been chasing after a false god who promised rain but delivered nothing. Elijah's challenge forced them to choose: stick with the empty promises of Baal or return to the God who keeps His word. And finally, it's about God's power. That fire from heaven wasn't just a cool special effect, it was a reminder that God is real. He's listening, and He's capable of more than we can imagine. This story isn't just ancient history, it's a question for us today. What are we putting our faith in? Are we chasing after things that promise big but leave us empty? Or are we trusting in something or someone real who shows up when it matters most? Elijah's showdown on Mount Carmel was a moment of truth, a moment when the world saw who God really is, and that's a story worth remembering. The Elijah versus Baal showdown wasn't just a one-time event. It is a challenge that echoes through time. It's about standing up for what's true, even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about choosing faith over doubt, even when the world pushes you the other way. And it's about trusting that the God who sent fire from heaven is still the same God today, ready to show up in our lives in ways we can't predict. So next time you're facing your own Mount Carmel moment, remember Elijah. Take a stand, say a prayer, and watch what happens. Thanks for joining us for this epic journey through one of the Bible's most unforgettable stories. If this sparked something in you, share it with someone who needs a little fire in their life. Until next time, keep the faith, and maybe don't challenge any prophets to a duel without a good altar handy.